إن الحمد لله نحمده حمدا كثيرا طيبا كما يستحق كل محمد. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق وبلغ رسالة وأدى الأمانة ونصح الأمة وجاهد في الله حق جهاده وترك الأمة على البيضاء ليلها كنهارها ولا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك. صلى الله نبينا وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. طيب يا إخوة. We start now inshallah. Today we discuss Bab Ma Ja'a fi Sihr, chapter regarding magic. Magic, what does sihr, what does magic mean in language, and what does it mean in Islam? Sihr means, from that came sahur. Sihr is something related to something quiet. Something is done quietly, secretly. That's what sihr means. Sihr. That's what sahur is. Sahur came from sihr. Because of the language meaning that they have. Sahur is when we wake up for in Ramadan to eat. We wake up at time of sahur. And Allah talks about in the Quran, وَبِالْأَسْحَارِهِمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. And let the believers make istighfar at time of ashar, yani time of sahur. So sahur is a time very quiet. When you wake up to eat, it's very quiet. You don't hear much noise or anything like that. Called sahur. So sihr is something is also done secretly. When someone does sihr on someone, you won't realize. Might be in another country, and you in another country. The sahir did magic on a person, lives in another country, and it's done quietly. You don't realize because the spell you don't understand. You can't feel the spell. طيب. So sihr, that's what sihr is. لغة خفي, something hidden, secret, quiet. شرعا sihr mean عزائم والرقية والنفث والعقد الذي يتأثر به العبد. Sihr is it's a spell. It is something done, blowing, tying a knot. Okay, that's magic. That's magic. There's a hadith of Prophet ﷺ that a lot of ulama makes it da'if, but one of the Shaykh Ibn Muflih, one of the students of Shaykhul-Islam he makes it Hasan. The hadith is that Man aqada aqdatan thumma nafatha faqad sahara wa man sahara faqad ashraka. The hadith is that Man aqada aqda, whoever ties the knot, then he blows it, then he has committed magic. And whoever committed magic has committed shirk. And in the Quran, Allah talks about من شر النفاثات في العقد, from the evil of the blowing knot. So magic is done like that. You tie the knot and you blow on it. That's the sihr done. This is how Allah mentioned the Quran. So basically, that's what sihr is. And sihr is mentioned in the Quran. In Surah Baqarah, I'm just going to read the ayah first. Allah said, وَاتَّبَعُوا ما تتلو الشياطين على ملك سليمان وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر وما أنزل على الملكين ببابل هاروت وماروت وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر فيتعلمون منهما ما يفرقون بين المرء وزوجه وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ. This is the long ayah, Surah Baqarah, verse 102. This ayah talks about sihr. Actually explain what sihr is. Allah says, وَاتَّبَعُوا, they followed, the Jews. They left their book, they followed what is recited by shaitan to them, the kingdom of Mulk of Sulaiman alayhi salam, the people of Sulaiman alayhi salam. Shaitan came and he spelled, they put spell, and the Yahud, they followed that. The Yahud followed shayateen, followed the magic. They accepted the magic. Allah says, وَمَا كَفَرَ سُلَيْمَانُ وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا. But Sulaiman alayhi salam did not disbelieve, but shaitan disbelieved by teaching the people magic. Sulaiman alayhi salam did not believe it by learning it, nor teaching it. So shows that وَمَا كَفَرَ Sulaiman, he did not disbelieve, meaning that magic is disbelief, it's a kufr. وَلَكِنَّ الشَّيَاطِينَ كَفَرُوا, but the shayateen, they disbelieved. What do? يُعَلِّمُونَ النَّاسَ سِحْرًا. The shayateen will teach the people sihr. The sihr, if you teach or learn, it's a shirk. We'll talk about the category of sihr. وَمَا أُنزِلَ عَلَى الْمَلَكَيْنِ بِبَابِيلَ هَارُوتَ وَمَارُوتَ. That when in Bibal is a Medina, is a city in Iraq. Harut wa Marut came down to them. Okay? Came down to the people of Bibal, of Babil, teaching them magic. But some of the Mufassirun says this Harut wa Marut are not the Malaika. There are two men came and were teaching the people sihr, because Malaika, angel will never teach sihr to the people, they're believers. So this is some of the Mufassirun. But this ayah explains it. Okay? So Harut wa Marut are two Malaika. They came down, they're teaching the people magic. What do they say? That's the answer. يَقُولَ إِنَّمَا نَحْنُ فِتْنَةٌ فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. So they're teaching it, they say, ulama said, but they said, do not learn, do not practice, do not follow. We are a trial for you. So the ulama says that this Harut wa Marut was sent down by Allah to trial these people, to trial them. فَلَا تَكْفُرْ. So that means now, learning magic is kufr. So do not believe us, do not follow us. If you do that, it will be kufr. فَلَا تَكْفُرْ فَيَتَعَلَّمُونَ مِنْهُمَا مَا يُفَرِّقُونَ بِبَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَزَوْجِهِ. So magic, those who learn magic, what does it do, my brothers? It will separate between husband and wife. It separates the different types of magic. So this is a common thing happening in our countries, that if it's something to do with marriage, and if somebody likes a woman or vice versa, the person will go to a sahir, and sahir will do sihr, will bring her back to him, cause her to divorce him, or cause him to divorce her, whatever way. Okay, create mahabba, and he will leave her, and she will leave him and will come back to the person he wants to come. She wants to come. So the person who wants the woman, he goes to a sahir. Sahir says, do this, I'll do it for you. So give me the names and everything. Okay, you sacrifice this for me, you do that for me. A'udhu billah, all the shirkiyat, I'll make sure this happens. That's what sihr is, magic, which is shirk billah azza wa jal. طيب, so يفرقون به بين المرء وزوجه, that it separates between husband and wife. But all this never happen except by the will of Allah, except by the will of Allah azza wa jal. طيب, so this ayah talks about sihr. Now, after talking about that, what are the punishment of sahir? Or basically, is the sahir Muslim or a kafir? Okay, the ulama, Imam Shafi' rahimahullah, and others, they say sihr are two types. Sihr, which is done through jinn, through done shayateen, where they have to call on jinn and things like that. We sacrifice this by the name of the jinn, or some ugly stuff, yadu billah. Then this sihr is magic, called kufr, the major kufr, because the worship is done other than Allah azza wa jal. Because the sahir will not serve you, will not do what he wants you to do. You have to worship him, worship the jinn, yadu billah. Okay, then this is major shirk. Secondly, if sihr can be done other than shirk, using tobaccos, other medicines, things like that. The ulama says this does not fall under shirk, but it is a major sin. It is haram. Then it is not allowed. This is haram. So there are two types of sihr the ulama have mentioned. One is shirk, one is not shirk. Now, if a person does sihr through jinn, then he's kafir. If he makes tawbah, then Allah will accept it. And the person who does sihr, magic, other than calling on jinn, using tobacco and leaves and other medicine, then the person is not kafir, but has committed major sin. Now, in the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, he says that حد الساحر ضرب عنق, that حد الساحر ضرب عنقه, that the punishment of a magician is to behead the person. This is not a hadith, by the way, brothers. It is mawquf. It is a statement of the Sahabi Jundub radiallahu anhu. He said that the حد الساحر ضرب عنقه. It is statement of the Sahabi radiallahu anhu, Jundub. So it is not a hadith. Jundub, na'am. طيب. So now the ulama said that magician, the punishment is to be beheaded. So the ulama said that, even Shaykh bin Baz and others, if a sahir was caught and he was taken to the court, then the qadi or the hakim will behead him. And if a person says he made tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal, the ulama says tawbah is between him and Allah. That will benefit him Yawm al-Qiyamah. But in dunya, Islamically, even if he makes tawbah, we don't deny the tawbah. Allah's tawbah is still accepted, but he still وَهُوَ الَّذِي يَقْبَلُ التَّوْبَةَ عَنْ عِبَادِهِ, that he is Allah, the one who accepts tawbah from his believers, from his slaves. So Allah will accept the tawbah, but in this dunya, he'll be beheaded. And he'll be beheaded as a Muslim, because he made tawbah. The capital punishment will still take place. Why? Because of the fasad, the harm he has done to the people. He will be beheaded. Okay? And tawbah is with Allah. And if a person who is sahir did not make tawbah to Allah Azza wa Jal, and his sihr was shirk and everything, then he'll be beheaded as a kafir, no doubt. So yeah, the punishment in any state, the punishment of the sahir, of the magician, that he should be beheaded, and there is no other than that. So now, someone might say, why is that sahir? He has no, even if he makes tawbah, you can't excuse him. But if it's zani or other people who commit major sin, they make tawbah, you have to abandon them. The reason being is that is because sahir, magician, he harmed the society, the people, destroyed the people. He should be beheaded because of the harm that he has done. And even if he makes tawbah, he can go back to it again. Allah knows best. Okay? So the ulama says, the asah, most authentic opinion is that even if he makes tawbah, ala kulli hal, any state, he should be beheaded. Now, what is the evidence that he should not be accepted tawbah? Even if he makes tawbah, we should still behead him. The hadith of Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu. When Umar radiallahu anhu, Amir al-Mu'mineen, when he sent the letter to the people, ummal, the workers and the people, he told them to behead the magician wherever you see them. He didn't say, ask for tawbah. He didn't say, ask for tawbah, if they don't make tawbah, behead them. No, he said, behead them. His daughter Hafsa, the wife of Prophet ﷺ, she did kadhalik, she beheaded a magician. She never said to make tawbah. Jundub radiallahu anhu, kadhalik also he beheaded. So we say the Sahabas agreed upon that. Umar everyone agreed that sahir, you behead him even if he makes tawbah or she makes tawbah. Okay? So it's not that we don't accept your tawbah, it's that this is the punishment of Allah. This is the hudud of Allah. This is the qisas of Allah, the capital punishment. Every magician would be punished like this. Tayyib? So this is what it is, my brothers. So sahir, a different level of sihr. Muslim can be a sahir as well, as long as he doesn't use jinns and things like that. If a sihr, magic, is lesser than shirk, it doesn't fall into shirk, Imam Shafi said. But if his magic deal with calling on jinn and things like that, then that person is kafir. And any sahir should be beheaded whatsoever, even if the person makes tawbah, he or she. طيب. So this is what the ulama have said. وقوله تعالى يؤمنون بالجبت والطاغوت, that they believe, Yahud, يعني the Jews, they believe in Jibt والطاغوت. They believe in Jibt. Jibt is what? Magic, and Taghut is Iblis. As Umar said. The Jews, they're known for magic anyway. They're the one who did magic on the Prophet ﷺ. Okay? Now, Jibt is Sihr, Taghut is Shaitan. What is Taghut? For the brothers who just came, Taghut is from the word Tughyan, Mujawad al-Had. Taghut refers to something to pass the boundary. Inna lamma taghal ma hamalnakum fil jariyah. That when the water to Nuh alayhi salam, when the water came so high, we carried you to the boat. So Taghut is from Tughyan, to pass the boundary that Allah set. Okay? Now Taghut, Ibn Qayyim says, Taghut ma tajawaza bihi al-abd haddahu min al-ma'bud wa matbu' muta'in. Ibn Qayyim gave a beautiful statement of Taghut. He said that Taghut is when someone passed the boundary that Allah has set. Either by ma'bud, by worshipping other than Allah, either following matbu'i, following the ruler, the scholars who are calling to bid'ah and shirk. You're following them. Because Prophet warned us against scholars who are misguided, calling you to the hellfire, doors of the hellfires. Okay? So here matbu' referring to the evil scholars. We have evil scholars around us, calling to Jahannam, calling to bid'ah and shirk, iyadu billah. So matbu' wa muta'in. Muta' is to obey the rulers, referring to the rulers. Evil rulers, not calling to the deen of Allah. The ruling by other than Allah Azza wa Jal. They're making halal into haram, haram into halal. Talking ill about Islam. Saying things like Allah Azza wa Jal oppresses the women in the Quran. These are rulers talking like this, yadu billah. So Ibn Qayyim says, these are Taghut. Worshipping other than Allah, following the evil scholars, following the evil rulers who are making halal into haram, haram into halal. We know this happened at the time of Rasulullah Adi bin Hatim, when he was a Jew. He was a Jew. Prophet read this ayah. اتخذوا أحبارهم ورهبانهم أربابا من دون الله. They've taken the monks and the rabbis, Lord beside Allah. And Adi was confused. He said, Ya Rasulullah, we did not worship these people. يعني Adi did not make sajda to them. They never made dua to them. Ya Rasulullah, we're free from this. He said, I know that. But when they made halal into haram, haram into halal, you followed that, didn't you? That's your worship to them. So rulers, you have rulers, time of Rasulullah in our time now, people do this, yadu billah, making haram into halal. So that's their worship to the rulers. So these are form of Taghut. And Ibn Qayyim says, going over it again, just revise for you brothers, for the new brothers, he said, Taghut kathirun ru'usuma khamsa. Taghut are many, but head of them are 5, according to Ibn Qayyim, and they are 5, and nobody disagrees with that. First he says, Iblis, la'natullah alayhi. وَمَنْ عُبِدَ وَهُوَ رَاضٍ. When he's worshipped, he's pleased with that. وَمَنْ دَعَ النَّاسِ لِعِبَادَتِهِ. That he called people to worship him. وَمَنْ إِدَّعَ شَيْءٍ مِنْ عِلْمِ الْغَيْبِ. The one who claimed to have knowledge of unseen. And the 5th one is, مَنْ حَكَمَ بِغَيْرِ مَا أَنزَلَ اللَّهِ. Whoever judged by other than what Allah has revealed. So these are 5 tawaghit. Ibn Qayyim mentioned I'lam al-Muwaqqi'in. So Taghut, my brothers, is a big topic, and these are the type of Taghut that Allah mentioned. The Jews believe in the magic and Taghut, all of this. قال عمر بن الخطاب رضي الله عنه, he said, Al-Jibtu sihr. Jibt is magic. Taghut is shaitan. Shaitan is Taghut. But he is the head of all that. He is the one who calls people to worshipping other than Allah Azza wa Jal. So, when Ibn Qayyim says, هو راضٍ بعبادته, that he is pleased when he is worshipped. So we mentioned that before, that remember inshallah, that anyone worship awliya, they are not Taghut, because they never call people to worship themselves. And they are not pleased with that worship. So those who worship Prophet Isa or Abdul Qadir Jilani, any righteous people of worship, they are not Taghut because they are not happy with that worship. طيب قال جابر الطواغيت كهان كان ينزل عليهم الشيطان في كل حي واحد. طيب Jabir said Tawaghit is a fortune teller who comes down upon them. Shaitan comes down upon them in one place. Okay, so Kuhan, the fortune tellers basically, Yadu Billah, this is Taghut because, as Ibn Qayyim said, Alladhi idda'a min ilm al-ghayb, the one who claimed to have knowledge of unseen. Fortune teller, they look at your palm and said, this is going to happen to you, this is going to happen to you, you're going to live in America, you're going to do this, that. A'udhu Billah, this is shirk billah azza wa jal. Well, how do you know 10 years later this is going to happen to him? La yarif ahad illa Allah. Nobody knows except Allah. So, Kuhan are those people who tell your future. And a lot of people are affected by that. They want to know their future. A'udhu Billah. So, these are Taghut. How does the fortune tellers knows about future? We say the jinn, they have communication with the jinn, isn't it? The Kuhan are no Muslims because they're claiming to have knowledge of unseen. So the jinn, how does jinn know? We covered this few chapters before, isn't it? They go up like this, to Ibn Uyayna mentioned, isn't it? Like this, and they listen to the Malaika speaking about the futures and things like that. They can come down, and the Kuhan, the fortune tellers, they make dua to them, they call on them, they speak to them, and they tell them about the future, and they tell the people. So, Yadu Billah. So, the all shirk, and that's why it's forbidden. This goes against the Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jal. So, Kuhan are the fortune tellers, and they tell people about the future, and they make a lot of money. A'udhu Billah. They make a lot of money. And it used to come on the newspaper as well. The most expert in fortune teller, knowing about your future, will tell you. And people who are weak iman, they go. They're depressed, they're worried. What's going to happen to me? Yeah, fortune teller, tell me about my future. Okay, don't worry, you'll be okay. 10 years time, what is this? Leave it to Allah. This is Tawheed. Anything like that, you leave it to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Allah knows your future. He is the one who created you. He will decree whatever He decrees. This is part of Tawheed of Allah Azza wa Jalla. The Sahaba never went to the fortune tellers. Even the Prophet of Allah they didn't go to. Ya Rasulullah, tell us about future. Did anyone went to Rasulullah? Never. They never went to him. So this is a disease. This is a money-making machine, and people with weak iman, and they go to them. Yadu Billah. Can you imagine? You go to fortune teller, 40 days your salah is not accepted. 40 whatever years. So we have to be careful, inshallah. طيب. وعن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه عن رسول الله قال اجتنبوا سبع موبقات. Here, Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, okay, he basically saying to the companion, he's saying that abandon 7 mubiqat. Shaykh ibn Uthaymin explains ijtanibu, abandon, is not utruku, leave. So he said ijtanibu is more stronger meaning that you leave and keep away from it. Far away, tab'ud, you go away from it, you don't go close to it. Ijtanibu, 7 mubiqat, 7 grievous sin. So Shaykh said it is not only 7, there are more than that. The Prophet mentioning as example 7 of them, but to be honest with you, any sins is mubiqat, muhlikat, will destroy you. Any sins, okay? So don't think that this is the only 7 sins will destroy me, no other sin will destroy me. No, more than 7. But 7 is Prophet maybe mentioned because they are the most highest one, severe one. But a small sin can take you to hellfire. So اجتنبوا 7 موبقات. قالوا يا رسول الله وما هن. So when the company heard that 7 sins that will destroy you, abandon them, keep away from them, they did not just sit there. Okay, Rasulullah, khalas. No, this is what are they, Ya Rasul? Tell us these 7 sins so we can keep away from it. Haadi Hudayfa ibn Yaman radiallahu anhu, when he said the people ask about good things to Prophet of Allah, I used to ask bad things. so I can keep away from the bad things. So if you don't know this evil, how are we going to keep away from the evil? We won't. We have to know the hazard. We have to know the evil. So Prophet ﷺ said, the first thing is shirku billah. Shirk. That's the first thing Allah Azza wa Jal, Prophet mentioned that will destroy us. Shirk billah. What is shirk? Basic definition of shirk, if you were to explain to somebody, everyone accept that is وَهُوَ دَعَوْتُ غَيْرُ مَعَهُ, to invoke other than Allah, or to worship other than Allah. That's shirk. So going to the saint and righteous, calling on them, these are shirk, because you're calling other than Allah Azza wa Jal. And Allah mentioned many verses in the Quran about shirk. إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ أَن يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. That indeed Allah Azza wa Jal does not forgive whoever associates anything with Him, but He forgives anything less than that. Also Allah said that لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ لَيَحْبَطَنَّ عَمَلُكَ وَلَا تَكُونَنَّ مِنَ الْخَاسِرِينَ. لَإِنْ أَشْرَكْتَ, if you make shirk with Allah, all your actions will be nullified. So there are many verses in the Quran. Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا وَاسْتَكْبَرُوا عَنْهَا لا تفتح لهم أبواب السماء ولا يدخلون الجنة حتى يلج الجمل في سم الخياط وكذلك نجزي المجرمين. Surah A'raf, Allah said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. Indeed, those who disbelieve in our signs, Quran, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا وَكَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا, and denied our signs and they became arrogant, the door of Jannah will never be open for them. And they will not enter Jannah until the camel passes through the eye of the needle. The camel passes through the eye of the needle. What Allah is saying is that can camel pass eye of the needle? The needle, will it pass? Never. It's impossible. Allah is saying that for the mushrik to go Jannah is impossible. Ahlul shirk. And Allah said, وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُجْرِمِينَ. That likewise we reward the mujrimeen. Mujrim is who? The kuffar. The kuffar refers to mujrim. Allah refers them to the mujrim. Okay, so this ayah clearly states that shirk is the worst sin that you can commit. If Allah has blocked the Jannah for a mushrik, because of a shirk they can't go to Jannah, shows the severity of the sins, how evil it is. One of the things that will destroy you is shirk billah azza wa jal. Then the hadith, the next one is as-sihru. Sihr. Magic. And we covered magic as well. So magic is part of shirk. But we mentioned two types of sihr. Sihr can be done two ways as well. One is shirk, one is not shirk. But both are haram. The next one, I just mentioned all of them, inshallah. وَقَتْلُ النَّافِ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ. And to murder, basically. Murdering somebody without any justified reason. Without a just reason to kill somebody. Okay? So murder is haram. When does killing somebody becomes halal? Hadith ibn Masud radiallahu anhu. The blood of a Muslim is not halal except for three things. That the one, Sayyibul Zani, the one who is married, falling to zina, stoned to death. But remember that Zani, who married, not married, falling to zina, it is not obligated upon them to go to a Haadi and say, I've committed zina, stone me to death or slash me. No, you can make tawbah and there's khalas. Allah will accept your tawbah. So that's one. Mufariqu lidinihi al-jama'ah, to leave the Islam. Man baddala din faqtuluhu. That whoever leaves his din, he should be beheaded. And the third is nafsu bi nafs, eye for an eye. So it is allowed for a Muslim to defend his wealth, his family, if Muslim were to attack him physically. And another hadith Abu radiallahu anhu, when he asked Prophet, Ya Rasulullah, what if if I die by protecting my wealth and family? So if you die, you're shaheed. What if I kill him? He's in the hellfire. Okay, so if someone died protecting his honor, his faith, or his family, his wealth, then inshallah he's shaheed. If he's a believer, he'll be shaheed. Okay, so you're allowed to protect your wealth. So these are three reasons where it's allowed for Muslim blood to be shed. Okay, Islamically that's what three reasons is. The Hadith ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. But the last one, eye for an eye, is that, a bit more inshallah, if someone were to come to someone's house, a Muslim to come to kill a Muslim, kill his family, whatever, the ulama says that you defend yourself to extent where you can eliminate that. So, for example, if someone were to come and he punches him and knocks him out, then khalas, you don't do anything. Okay, you use the force that is enough to eliminate the situation. طيب, so these are three reasons why blood of a Muslim is halal. Hadith ibn Mas'ud radiallahu anhu. وقتل النفس, murder basically, which Allah made haram. So that's the next mubiqat. Aklu riba, okay, eating or taking interest basically. We know this is one of the major sins. One of the major sins in Islam. The hadith about that talks about inshallah, I'm going to read that, then I'll let you know next week inshallah. Yeah. The next one is aklu mal al-yatim, eating the wealth of yatim. Who's yatim? A boy lost his father when he was young. Okay, so yatim is called somebody has no father, he's weak, and because it's easy to eat his wealth, isn't it? He has no father, no protection. And after Allah, in terms of human, his father is the protector of him. He's not there anymore, so he is weak. Okay, he's vulnerable. So he's yatim. To eat his wealth, a'udhu billah, is haram. It's a mubiqat. But when he reached the baligh, he's not yatim anymore. Okay, he's not yatim anymore. Because now he can look after himself. So until baligh, he remains yatim. That's why eating the wealth of yatim is severe, subhanallah. But you're allowed to. Allah says, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَأْكُلُونَ أَمْوَالَ الْيَتَامَى ظُلْمًا إِنَّمَا يَأْكُلُونَ فِي بُطُونِهِمِ النَّارِ وَسَيَصْلَوْنَ سَعِيرًا. That as for those who eat the wealth of the yatim, oppressing, he's filling his stomach with the fire basically, and then Allah said, we'll cast him to the hellfire. What a destiny. So eating the wealth of yatim is la yajuz, unless someone take the wealth of yatim to benefit him, help him to progress, then that's different. But to take it forcefully, unlawfully, then that's the hadith says is haram. وَتَوَلُّوا يَوْمَ الظُّحْفِ, to turn your back away but from the battlefield. Okay? For example, you go to battle, a jihad, and you face the enemy, then that's mubiqat. It's a destruction. This is that will destroy him. It is not allowed for the person to turn his back away from jihad, because Allah mentioned that to turn your back away from this is haram. Allah only allows it for you to go back and plan again and come back again, inshallah. So if you think you're going to lose the battle, you can run back, go behind the mountain, whatever, hide and replan it again and come out again. But if he turns back and goes home, okay, then this is what he's talking about. Turning back, going home, not going back to replan it again. Replanning it is okay, you can go and, because the Amir might say, look, let's go back, it's not going to work. Plan B now. Let me tell you the plan B, we come back. That's okay. But this plan B is to go back home, then this is haram, this is not allowed. Look, because we're not going through this, but Sahaba, Allahu Akbar, the amount of jihad they had to fight. And they never turned back. One of the Shaykh says, if they turn back, they will cry. We don't want to die in the path of Allah. We will be happy. our age, our people will be happy. Yeah, it makes sense because our iman is not like their iman. And so turning your back from the battlefield is not allowed. طيب. وقذف المحصنات الغافلات المؤمنات. Accusing a chaste person, female here, but can male enter as well. Qadf is what? Accusing of a zina. Okay? To accuse a chaste female, but male as well, you can come in there to accuse them of zina. Now, this refers to the believers, not non-believers. Okay? This hadith, Sabah Mubiqat Sahih Bukhari. Okay? One of the Al-Aini, Umdatul Qari, is in Sharh Sahih Bukhari by Aini, a Hanafi scholar. He said this accusing of zina is refers to believers. If someone to accuse a non-Muslim, the threat is not that, it's not there. But he shouldn't do it without any just reason, you know. But imagine, akhi, to accuse, people nowadays they do it, throw it like this. Zani. Akhi, you have no evidence. Shaykhul-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah says that no one in the history ever can prove someone committed zina. What does zina mean? Have you seen it penetrate? No, you can't. You can't prove it. A'udhu billah. You cannot prove it. So to prove zina is impossible. Only Allah knows it. Unless he testifies himself, like Ma'iz and the lady from Ghamidiyah, when she came and said, Ya Rasulullah, I've committed zina, purify me. You might, the Sahabi committed zina, but she's known as mother of the repenters, the mothers. And the Prophet said that if her tawbah were to be distributed to the people of Medina, would suffice it. This is the tawbah she has made. She's forgiven, she's in Jannah. Okay, Ma'id kadhalik. But they testified it. Unless someone testifies that he or she fornicated, you can't accuse it, it's haram. That's what it is talking about. You have to have a reason. Or for witness. As much as the punishment is severe, stoned to death, the dalil is qawi. You need to have 4 witnesses. And if you don't bring 4 witnesses, you are zalim, no testimony should be taken from you. So accusing a chaste male or female of zina is a major sin. It's a sin that mubiqat al-sabah. So we have to be careful because nowadays they're throwing this, they're accusing people like this. A'udhu billah. And Ibn Taymiyyah says you haven't seen it happens. You can't just because they're hugging each other. La, that's not a proof. Zina is to see the penetration of it. You can't. It's impossible. Only Allah knows. Leave it to Allah. Okay, so these are 7 mubiqat. As we scholars have said, there are more than 7 mubiqat. But Prophet mentioned maybe the severe one. Just because zina is not mentioned, it's not mubiqat. Destroy you. Drinking alcohol, gambling. These are all mubiqat to destroy you as well. Disobeying your parents. It's not here. But still it's a mubiqat to destroy you. Backbiting, slandering. Also, so any sin that Salaf would say that when you commit sin, do not undermine the sin. How big, how small it is. Think about who you're disobeying. You know? So Shaykh ibn Uthaymeen said that mubiqat is not only hasr, restricted to the 7, it's more than that. More than that. طيب. وعن جندب مرفوع. But this is actually mawquf. This Jundub saying this. The ulama said this is mawquf from Jundub. So marfu' Prophet said it, mawquf Sahaba said it, and mursal Tabi'in said it. طيب. حد الساحر ضربة بالسيف. The punishment of a magician is to behead the person. Why not stab him, cut his hand, cut his leg, cut his ears, then behead him? Islam Allah is more merciful even with the kuffar. You're not allowed to cut people up. In jihad, you're not allowed to do that. You behead the person because the quicker death should take place. Even for the mushrik, we're not allowed to burn somebody to punish him. Because لا تعذب بعذاب الله. Do not punish people with the punishment of Allah. Only Allah can punish with the fire. Nobody can. Okay? So, someone might say, why just behead him, torture him, punish him, burn him? A'udhu billah, la yajuz. You can't do this, haram. Darba to be safe. You behead the person, he dies quickly. Allah is merciful in that. Our deen is merciful even with that. Allahu Akbar. So that's the punishment of the magician, to behead the person. So shows the severity of sihr. Now I'm just going to read this. Now these are the evidences where you'll see that they did not ask for tawbah. Lam yustatabu. They did not ask the sahir to make tawbah or behead you. La. Umar bin Khattab radiallahu anhu, an iqtulu kulla sahir wa sahira. So he says, kill, behead every magician, male or female. Okay? So he wrote to the people. He didn't say, this is the answer for you, okay? Or what if he makes tawbah? But say Umar didn't, the Sahabas agreed on this. So the hadith said if they've agreed, then none of them objected to that you have to ask for tawbah. No. If you make tawbah, that's between Allah. But the Khalifa, Qadi, Hakim will take it like that. Okay? So Umar says, kill him. You think Umar doesn't have a tawbah? He didn't ask for tawbah. And he said, فَقَتَلْنَا ثَلَاثَ سَوَاحِرْ. And in their time they killed 3 magicians. No asking for tawbah, behead them. Okay? وَصَحَّحًا حَفْصَةً رضي الله عنها, mother of the believers, أنها أمرت بقتل جارية لها سحرتها فقتلت. That Hafsa, the wife of the Prophet ﷺ, she commanded to kill this female magician who tried to do sihr on her, on Hafsa. Okay? So she didn't say, make tawbah. No, you never find where they say, make tawbah. And Jundub as well, radiallahu anhu. Now someone might say that, okay, yeah, I think I answered that. If for Zani or the one who drinks alcohol or murderers or other majors in their community, you can accept their tawbah. But why is not tawbah for this accepted? We're not saying accepted. Tawbah is with him and Allah. But even after tawbah, he needs to be beheaded because of the harm that he has done in society. I want you to understand this, because someone asked you the question, you said, tawbah is with Allah. We're not denying the tawbah that he has with Allah. The door is open. But the Sharia, the ijma of the Sahabas, they said, even if he makes tawbah, as Islamically, the Qadi would behead the person. Okay? Because of the harm that is done on the society. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen said the same thing as well. Bin Baz fatwa is there as well, rahimahullah. So my brothers, we covered sihr and the evidences. Jazakumullah khair. So that will suffice us today. We'll go to the next one next week. Jazakumullah khair. Any clarification? I'll do that now, inshallah. Sorry.
How does the Sahir get caught? You need witnesses. How many?
Sahir is caught, but the people will know, the community will know it. He's doing sihr, Allah will expose him. And people who, for example, someone might say, look, I know sahir, I'm practicing now, there's sahir is doing all this, causing this fitna. The community will know eventually, inshallah. And God will spread out. And it happens there. People will tell everyone that this is a sahir, he's doing that. Yeah, but the ulama says that, in our time, we cannot, if we know sahir, we warn against the person, we cannot implement the had. It's for the certain thing in Sharia of Allah, only the Qadi can do, Khalifa can do, Hakim can do. Like beheading the magician, okay, stoning death, fornicators, okay, implementing the capital punishment. These are for the rulers, Hakim and Qadi and the Khalifa to do that. No anyone can do it. But what we can do, at least we can do, is to warn against that person, to keep away from him or her, inshallah. Yes? So it comes out, word, people spread it, and that's how you know it. There's no other way you will know it, inshallah. Well, let me just okay.
The punishment for the magician, is it specifically for the magician who's doing it with shirk, or is it the one who is doing potions?
Both of them. Because either way you're harming the people. Either way there's a harm, spreading corruption in the society. Yeah.
So you said that it's haram to flee the battlefield. But what if the general of the army orders the army to go back? Is he still sinful for that?
Go back. It is not sinful if they go back to the plan again.
But what if he says like the army is too weak,
What if the leader
just goes home? But the general ordered it.
But this going back means not to flee from the jihad, to maybe go back, come back again, whatever. The plan, that's what the ulama said, schedule the timing and the plan it again, then you can go back, you flee. Because if you think you're weak, then go back, replan it again and come back. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. But what the ulama said, going back means not coming back again. Your intention is not to come back, I'm scared to fight. That's haram, that's where you fall into. Go Nakhi.
Can you clarify the 5 forms of Taghut?
Taghut, the 5 type of Taghut, Ibn Qayyim says, Iblis, وَمَنْ عُبِدَ وَهُوَ رَاضٍ, whoever is worshipped is pleased with that. وَمَنْ دَعَى نَاسِ لِعِبَادَتِهِ, those who he called people to worship him. وَمَنْ إِدَّعَى شَيْئًا مِنْ إِلْمِ الْغَيْبِ, the one who claim anything from knowledge of unseen. So he's claimed to have knowledge of unseen. أعوذ بالله, Allah knows. And the final one is that to rule by other than what Allah has revealed. To rule by other than what Allah has revealed. Yeah. These are all detailed talk. So it's not it's simple. Topic is vast, this one, yeah. So these are the 5 Taghut Ibn Qayyim mentions. Go on, Akhi.
How can someone tell if they've been affected by magic? And how can, is there any sort of like regular dua or dhikr you can do to...
That's a good question. How do we know someone is affected? Do you know what happened to Prophet ﷺ? Do you know what happened to him when he was done magic by this Jew? Hmm? Now that was revealed, but do you know his behavior? He would say, I've done things I haven't done. He would say, I saw things, but he never saw. So he had character, he affected his, physically he was affected, his mu'amalat. This is what Aisha is narrating to us. The Prophet will, yukhayyil, he will get confused. He will think, he will say, I've did this, but he never done it. And he will say, I've seen this, but he never seen it. So magic had effect on his character, but not the heart. His iman, everything was firm. It's just the physical effect that he had. So the way to know, like if someone possessed by jinn, how would you know he's possessed by jinn? Change character. So let me give you a classic example. Okay, imagine we are sitting here, yeah? We know a genuine brother, yeah? He comes to the masjid and he starts throwing the books around. Khalas, you know the person is possessed. Because that's the genuine character that he has. So the one way to know is the character changes. So sihr has an effect on that. Okay, so the mu'amala, the kalam, it changes. So that's the one way to, I know it. From that you will know this person is possessed or has sihr on them. This brother.
You mentioned 2 types of magician, right? So one of them is calling upon jinns and doing shirk and the other part is which are you said using tobacco.
Okay, sihr are 2 types. One is shirk, one is not shirk. Shirk one is the one you invoke other than Allah. You call on jinns and things like that. This is what Imam Shafi'i said. And Shaykh mentioned this. The ulama talk about this. Kitab in his book he mentioned this. That Sahi either can be kafir or can be fasiq. Kafir is if he call on jinn and he calls on the jinn and then he's a kafir, the sahir. If a sahi is not doing all that, but he just using tobacco, other leaves, other medicines, then he's not calling on jinn, then he's committing major sins. He's a fasiq for that. But both of them are beheaded. Because even the person who is still a Muslim is not committing shirk, he's doing harm to society, he's causing harm, problems. So both are beheaded, yeah. There's no difference, they don't differentiate on that. Both, yeah. Go on.
How is magic done with like leaves and stuff?
I don't know. The ulama said they can be done the other way. Allah Alam. But yeah, good question. But there is. Imam Shafi said that people can do sihr without calling other than Allah, without calling on jinn. Okay, without calling on jinn, they can do sihr. They can use leaves and tobaccos and things like that. Allah Alam. You go on.
My question is, you mentioned the 3 people who get killed. Are the Khawarij also from those who is jaiz to kill them?
Oh, the blood is halal. This is not a hadith, but these three hadiths can be implemented in our life. So, for example, if Middle East, they implement Sharia of Allah Azza wa Jal, yeah? They do most of it, inshallah. But if a fornicator or a murderer were to, they will implement the had. They will implement the had. Unless he makes tawbah and the awliya, they forgive him, there's no had on him. Because he is forgiven by the awliya. And with Allah, you can't deny it. Allah might be accepting his tawbah. So, yeah, so they implement this hudud. So these are practical things that can happen. But as for Khawarij, the ulama says that, the Prophet said that if I could kill Khawarij the way Allah destroyed Aad and Thamud, I would have done it likewise. And whoever kill Khawarij and die by Khawarij will enter Jannah. So the ulama said, how do you know this man is a Khawarij? Prophet is talking about. So if he has one characteristic of Khawarij, does it make him a Khawarij? Okay? In 80s or 90s, one of the Shaykh al-Albani students gave fatwa that if you know the Khawarij, if you can get away with it, don't do it.
It's allowed to kill the Khawarij.
In a society, how are you going to determine that he's a Khawarij? That's the thing.
Let's say Osama bin Laden.
Isn't it only if they fight you?
So best to avoid it, yeah, because we need, this killing Khawarij is not left on the Qadi, general public, but you have to know if it's, The Prophet said, whoever kills Khawarij and die by it will enter Jannah. So whoever, but you have to know if he's a Khawarij or not, So even if you know someone in this society, can you get away with it? You can't. They'll catch you. So leave it. Don't think you can run away with it. They're more than what we think. They'll catch you. Subhanallah. So, khalas, yeah, leave it. You have to go. Who wants to ask me a question?
First question was, what is awliya?
Awliya.
The second question was, if someone has committed murder or has inflicted others with like hardship or punishments and stuff, does this person still have to have the capital punishment if they make tawbah or?
Okay, let's do the first one. Awliya. Awliya, Shaykhul-Islam said, Awliya is وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ. Ibn Taymiyyah has a book, Al-Furqan, بين أولياء الرحمن وأولياء الشيطان. We have أولياء الرحمن, أولياء of Rahman, Allah, and أولياء of Shaitan. أولياء is plural of wali. Wali is the hadith, 40 is there. Allah said that وما تقرب إلي عبدي إلا ما, and Allah said that in Hadith Kursi, من عاد لي وليا فقد آذنت بالحرب, that whoever is enmity with my wali, I'm in war with him. وما تقرب إلي عبد إلا ما افترضت عليه. That's first level, that my slave does not become close to me except what I made fard on him. Then next level, ولا يزال عبد يتقرب إلي بالنوافل حتى أحبه, that next stage is that my slave still come close to me by doing the nawafil until I love him. So wali is the one, wali I mean to become close. So wali is someone who is close to Allah in worship, ihsan, fear of Allah. That's a wali. So when Ibn Taymiyyah wrote the book, he described what is wali, and he brings the ayah, وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَكَانُوا يَتَّقُونَ, and those who believe and they have taqwa. It's not just believe, taqwa as well. So what does taqwa mean? He has believed in Allah, he does what Allah commands him to do, and he leaves what Allah forbids him to do. He leaves what Allah made haram. So he does the fara'id, the least he can do the fara'id, and he leaves all the major sins. That's wali. That's the muttaqi. So that's what wali is, wali of Allah Azza wa Jal. Someone righteous man basically, for the Quran and Sunnah. And what was the other one?
If someone has inflicted murder or hardship or things onto other people, does this person still have the capital punishment if they make tawbah?
Okay, if someone does an act of murder and obviously the act is a major sin, And Islamically, if there is Islamic Sharia, if someone does a murder, there's the stage you have to go through. So Allah commands to forgive one another. So if someone commits a murder, okay, Ibn Abbas says the murderer has no tawbah with the maqtul, the one he has killed. Regarding him, there's no tawbah for him. So when a person does a murder, three things happen. He disobeyed Allah, he broke Allah's haqq, he broke the haqq of the believer, and he broke the haqq of the guardian. So if he makes sincere tawbah to Allah, okay, and Allah will forgive him. No doubt, we don't deny that. As for the maqtul, there's no tawbah, he needs to wait until Yawm al-Qiyamah. Okay, they will come together face to face, Yawm al-Qiyamah. And third is his parents. If the parents forgive him, dunya, then khalas, there's no capital punishment. But if the capital punishment does go through, okay, that's expiation for him. That's expiation, he's forgiven. Like the Sahabiya Ghamidiyya, her capital punishment was that she was stoned to death. When the Sahaba was cursing her, said, don't curse her. Indeed, if her tawbah was spread it to the people of Medina, it will suffice it. This is the tawbah she has made. So her sins are forgiven. But she never had to go through that. If she made sincere tawbah, would have been accepted. So did that answer your question, Akhi? Yeah? Yeah? So the capital punishment is a tawbah for the person. Okay? So murder is a serious stuff. So, if the wali forgives, then khalas, it's forgiven. But if the wali says, la, I want him to be, the qisas, the hudud to be taken on that person. Okay, if the hudud is taken, punishment is taken, capital punishment, khalas, Allah forgave him. That's he done his tawbah. That's his tawbah, khalas, he's forgiven. But if they forgive, then khalas, Allah is forgiven. But that's what Allah wants, for you to forgive the person. And it's difficult. There was a Shaykh in Medina or Riyadh, his son was stabbed to death. He paid his own son janazah. Okay? And he forgave them. He forgave the murderers for sake of Allah. So can you imagine how difficult it is? But he want the reward from Allah Yawm al-Qiyamah. So because he forgave them as a father, the hudud wasn't done on them. So it is difficult, but if the wali forgives, Allah wants to forgive. Allah wants to forgive. Subhanallah. So that's what it is. So the hudud, capital punishment is a kafara, expiation of the sin. Yeah, itself. Is it okay? Khalas? Jazakumullah khair.